Good morning, everyone. I'm going to make just a brief statement. Then the Democratic...
She's tighter than usual. If you go back, the head moves and the shoulders move with it, but they move in the same direction, like there's a pole and nothing is independent.
Then the Democratic leader will make a brief statement, and I'm not going to take any questions.
Nor am I.
At 9 o'clock...
And then we see Stress smile. So this is after the FBI report of Kavanaugh, and she's showing extreme stress.
This morning, my staff and I reviewed the FBI's report into sexual assault allegations against Brett Kavanaugh. Let me be clear, I can't talk about the detail because this remains a confidential part of the background report. I hope that changes are made and we'll be able to talk more about what the FBI did later. But what I can say is that the most notable part of this report is what's not in it. As we noted by the White House, the FBI did not interview Brett Kavanaugh, nor did the FBI interview Dr. Blasey Ford. What we've heard from numerous people over the last few days seeking to provide information to the FBI. We have seen even more...
That was interesting. It's almost off screen, but she brings it up high enough we can see it, and you look at her hands. She's not just holding her hands, she's gripping them. It's like she's massaging her hand, and it gets tighter and tighter. And that stress that we saw when she came in with the turning of the shoulders with the head, the stressed smile, stress. It lets us know at this point, she's not going to be able to hide much during this presser.
To the FBI. We have seen even more press reports of witnesses who wanted to speak with the FBI but were not interviewed. Deborah Ramirez's lawyer said he was unaware of any corroborating witnesses who were interviewed. Candidly, what we reviewed today in a very limited time, I was there, I had to leave, the report is in parts, and I had the opportunity to read some, but not...
I had to leave, and she goes down on it. Reports are in parts, and she puts her hands to the outside. And we're seeing portrayal when she does it too. When you see exaggerated movements, she brings her hand up, and then the body goes down in a bow, the whole thing. It's exaggeration. And of course, because it moves as one thing, and not fluently, it doesn't sing, it means there's deception there. What does she mean she had to leave? I find that suspicious. So I see a lot of stress, lots of stress. And then all of a sudden I had to leave. Deception. So what's the deception part on I had to leave?
The report is in parts and
she's got her hands out on the side. Report is in parts. And significant in itself and why it's out on the side because it's away from her. There isn't anything in front of her. I theorize that some of that has to do with the FBI case open on her and her staff for the leak. And some of that she's not allowed to see because you're under investigation for it. That's my theory. It melds up well with what I'm seeing, which is why it's my theory.
I had the opportunity to read some, but not all of it. It looks to be a product of an incomplete investigation that was limited, perhaps by the White House, I don't know. But the White House certainly blocked access to millions of documents from Judge Kavanaugh's record. I know that. And ensured that 90% of his emails and memos weren't available for the Senate or the public in the hearings. It now appears that they also blocked the FBI from doing its job. Democrats agreed that the investigation scope should be limited. We did not agree that the White House should tie the FBI's hands. It's simply not credible to say that public testimony in last week's hearing is a substitute for interviews by FBI agents. Not only do senators lack the expertise of FBI agents, we were only given 5 minutes to question Judge Kavanaugh. So, in my view, from what I saw, the investigation was very limited, and it will be interesting after all of the members have an opportunity to read the documents, and we have an opportunity in public to discuss our conclusions, what the findings are.
Thank you, Senator Feinstein. I just have 3 points to make. 1, we had many fears that this was a very limited process that would constrain the FBI from getting all the facts.
So she's down, she's in a listening position, and then all of a sudden, her head pops up, and that stress smile comes on her face with the believe me look. Going with the stress that we've already seen and how strong it is. And then we see the shoulders are back with this as well. It starts to make me think that she's putting on an act of strength.
Having received a thorough briefing,
Then it like falls. It's a really slow fall.
on the documents, those fears have been realized. Second,
Those fears have been realized. You see a slight head movement in the positive, and the smile fades with it at the same time. So there is a fear outside of what Schumer is saying that has been realized in Feinstein's mind that has nothing to do with what he is talking about. It's something that's personalized. And we say that because when we see the eyes and we see all that kind of go out and fall together, they have an inward. She's no longer listening. It's not to the side of listening. It's to the side. It's not even a side. It's gone center. It's an inward thought.
I disagree. Having received this
And then again, portrayal of strength after realizing that thought that she had.
a briefing on all of the documents, I disagree.
And we see the mouth movement, more stress. Her eyes are starting to glisten. She may actually be tearing up. I don't know. We don't ever see her cry.
With Senator Grassley's statement that there was no hint of misconduct.
More of the stress smile. An even bigger one. The eyes are now glistening even more with the fluid that's in it. So now we sit there and we're looking at it. Now we're going to be looking because now she's fighting back and she's letting fluid drain. When you want fluid to drain and you don't want people to see you cry, you lift your head. It stretches out all those tubes so that it drains into your sinuses and doesn't come down the front of your face or out of your nose. Which is why when you see real victims of any kind of trauma, or little kids even, when they're in trouble and crying, their head goes up.
And third, we are reiterating our call, given how limited these documents were and how limited the scope of this investigation was. We are reiterating our call that the documents with
Looks like she's gaining more and more emotional control over herself. It is possible to do that. You could stop.
proper redaction be made public. Why shouldn't all of America see the facts? And
So the head goes up, drain, goes right back down. Head goes up, drain, goes right back down. And the reason why we say that's what it's doing, because it's not on any one thing that he's saying. Like you would sit there and say something. Let's go back.
see the facts.
The facts, and then he emphasizes facts. And Feinstein doesn't do anything in that. Her head goes down before the word even starts to come out. So it's not matching up even to what she's supposedly listening to. It's off. And then when you see that, you go, okay, so her movements have nothing to do with what he is saying. It's her own interpersonal thought as you see where her eyes are going and the fact that her movements do not match up with the emphasis that Chuck Schumer is saying. And you separate it. It's like a ballet. And unless you've been practicing, it's really hard to watch both sides of that stage. If you liked it, leave a like.
If you like the content, please subscribe using this link via specific feeds. You'll be sent notifications to the full-length videos and ones that can't make it to YouTube, and you won't mysteriously be unsubscribed either. There is now a video course available on her website for gold subscribers, where Mandy teaches more about her techniques of deception detection. There's also other content such as the Crime Series, an Interesting Mind series, and monthly podcasts available to both gold and silver subscribers.
If you like it, please share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.